Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to modify the box plot by Statdisk. Modify the box plot is very useful because it can be used to detect outliers without calculations. It used to be if we have IQR, we can calculate what is the uh, criteria of an outlier by calculating lower fence and upper fence like that. But a modified box plot can show if outlier exists in a data sets. So we will be using Statdisk to do that. Now, the only restriction for using Statdisk is data needs to be in a column. So if your data is not in a column, you have to enter the data manually or use Google Sheets to convert the list to column. I have talked about that before, but I can go over it again at the end of this video. So let's just assume that we have data in a column. So I'm going to do two examples. One is this data, exercise data. So how many minutes you exercise per day? So we want to check if this list of data, we can graph a histogram and we can check if there's outliers, but we can also use a box plot to show how if there is any outlier. So first of all, I copy it, Control C, and then I use Statdisk. So Statdisk can be accessed from any browser. So I have it open already here. If not, you can do statdisk.com. Log on using a free ID or an email, and then you would copy, paste your data here. So do Control V to paste your data. Okay, it's in a column, and you're ready to graph the box plot. Okay, so you do data box plot. But we are not graphing the regular box plot that shows how data are separated into quartiles. We are interested using modified box plots because our concentration is on outliers. So I'll click the data column where I have my data, which is column 1, right? If you toggle the sample editor, it will show that data is in column 1. Then you click modify the box plot. I want to emphasize it's not box plot. The box plot does not show you outliers. Box plot show you how data are separated into the 4 quartiles, but it doesn't show outliers. So click modify the box plot, and you can look at the ends of the whiskers. So on the lower end, there is no dots, no marking. So there is no outliers on the low end. But on the high end, there is a star, kind of like a mark. So that means there is 1 outliers. It also shows Q1, median, and Q3. So there is 1 outliers, but what is the outlier? So what you can do is go back to toggle back to your sample editor. You can get rid of the graph by refreshing your screen. So refreshing the browser does not get rid of the sample editor entry. Now, we don't know where the high end outlier is. So our data is very small, so we can tell that maybe it's 300. But what you can do is you go to data tool, and then you can say sort my data in just one column, column 1. And I wanted to sort from small to the largest. So the data would be sorted in order, and you know that in the high end there is only 1 outlier, and that would be 300. So that's how you figure out what the outlier is without calculation. You would not know the lower fence and upper fence is. They don't show you, but they show you the existence of outliers. So that's how you find outlier by graphing, modify the box plot. Now, back to the problem if your data is not in a column. So maybe I should put here. So after there's outlier exists, so sort the data to find the outliers. Okay. If data is here. Oh, this one modified case. If data is not in a column, say for example, I have this list of data, they are in commas, and I want to find if there's outliers, what do I do? So of course you can manually enter them into it. So what you can do is you can copy them into Google Sheets. So you can look at them one by one and enter them into the sample editor. That's one way, but that takes a long time. So what you can do is you can copy this and then open up something called Google Sheets. I talked about this before when I was doing a histogram graph, but I'm going to repeat it in case you haven't come across. So what you do is you paste your data here, Control V. So your data will be pasted here, but this is very big, so I'm going to decrease the font size to smaller number. And then maybe I'm going to convert it into a column. So what I'll do is I highlight one row. Well, actually just this one. Just this cell will contain all the data. You can see that it's all here. And then what I'll do is after I click this cell, I do data, split text to column. So it would automatically split into individual box, individual cell. And then I do this also, split text to column. So all of them are in the individual cell, but they're in a horizontal form. So what you do is you highlight them, you just select them, and then you copy again. But you go back to the box below, and then you are going to paste them vertically. So you would say, not Control V, but you would say right click, paste special, transpose. Right click, paste special, transpose. So see the data now is copied as vertically. So originally it's 22, 33, 41, now it's vertical. What about the second column or the second row? So I do copy again. I scroll down all the way, and here I do right click, paste special, transposed. And so the 5 data values is transposed here. And then I will copy it. Okay, copy all of them. Okay, copy, and then I go back to the Statdisk. I'm going to paste it, Control V, paste it here. So I have the second column of data, and I want to graph a modified box plots to determine if there's outliers. So what I can do is go to Data, Box Plot, column 2 now. I only have column 2 and modify the box plot. And you can see that, oh, there is no dots in the 2n. So that means in this particular data, they don't have outliers. So this set of data don't have outlier. The first set has an outlier for 300, but 120 is not an outlier. So that's how you do. So that's how you graph modify the box plot by Statdisk.